Well, the right to go to the Super Bowl is on the line. What do I think is going to happen? We'll soon find out. But what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and this is the All Around Sports Cast. I am your host, Antonio, but you can call me Tony. Today, I am talking about my predictions for each of these games, for the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. Now, I made videos of these two games prior, previews, predictions, and keys, but I've made some changes on some of my picks. So I'm going to go over which team I have picked for each matchup and why. I'm going to be going over what the keys are for each of the teams in this game, and then also what Super Bowl matchup I would like to see. But before we get started, I am a Seahawks fan, as you all know. You can clearly see the flag behind me. But this is going to be an interesting battle. This is going to be an interesting battle between the last four teams. All of them are really great teams. But this is going to be an interesting one. And then before we get started, if you guys do enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates on my videos and live streams. Also, I will be doing live streams on each of these games. So I'll have those links in the description below for each of the live streams. So if you want to check that out during my live play-by-play reaction of the game throughout it, please be sure to hit that like button and also click the link down below. But first, you got Battle of the David versus Goliath. You got the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to take on the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs barely edging out against the Bills on a wide right kick by Tyler Bass. Sorry, buddy, but I had to say it. But wide right's the most cursed word in Buffalo, so sorry I had to say it. But Mahomes and the Chiefs looked really good that game. Their offense looked really good. Mahomes and Kelsey actually broke a record during that game for most receiving touchdowns by a quarterback and receiver duo, which was originally set by Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski at 15. They surpassed that, getting to 16, becoming the best quarterback wide receiver duo in NFL history. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, looking like the best team all season, pounding on some of those teams. They, as a matter of fact, blew out 9 of their opponents in the regular season. Half of their opponents in the regular season by 14 points. That was my Seahawks, the Lions, that was Houston, and a few other teams around the league. You had 9 blowouts by 14 or more points at home, I don't know if all of them were at home, but I know at least some of them were. But, dang, these Ravens have just looked so good. Lamar Jackson, people have said he's not an accurate passer. Well, do you have an explanation for that week? Because last week, he balled out against Stroud and the Texans. Which Stroud and the Texans have a bright future ahead of them, but, oh man, in the preview video, I said I originally had Kansas City, but you know what? I'm going to change it because I see the Ravens just pouring it on to Kansas City, and I can see them going to the Super Bowl because they're a really good team, and hopefully Lamar Jackson finally gets his ring after all these years. And then you got Sunday night NFC Championship game. You got the Detroit Roaring Lions taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Detroit Lions coming off a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. They were able to show up. Their offense looked really good. Derek Barnes was the one getting the game-winning interception against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. And this team is just so well-rounded around with right there with the Niners. Because we look at their weapons, you got Laporta, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Donovan Peoples-Jones, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got David Montgomery. Their weapons are very, very similar to the 49ers, which I think is going to play a major key in this game to keep the defense of Frisco on the field as long as you can. And then you got the 49ers looking like the best team around the NFC pretty much all year because they've looked so good. They actually remind me of the Monstars a little bit, like the Monstars from Space Jam all the way back in the 90s, the one that MJ did. But seriously, they do. They do. Because they just look unstoppable. Because you got Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, you got George Kittle, and loads of other weapons on this team that are just all-out ballers. But that secondary of the 49ers kind of gave me a little bit of concern. I said that's their weakness all season long because they've been giving up those big plays. And they barely beat a Green Bay Packers team that was a 7th seed, a young receiver group. You almost got beat by them, which probably should have been beaten by them if you ask me. But enough about that. But I do get that Jordan Love is his first full-year starter. But I do actually believe Jared Goff is the better quarterback in this matchup as far as experience because he's gone to a Super Bowl. Purdy hasn't yet. And the Niners are known for choking in these big games. They've been in the Super Bowl twice, one in 2013, which was also against the Ravens, now playing on the other side. And the other one was against Kansas City and Mahomes a few years ago, also playing on that side of the AFC Championship game. But here's the thing that I am most concerned of for the 49ers. Purdy did not look very good. Now, I get that he led a game-winning drive. I get that he went against a Joe Barry defense that is just god-awful and looked suspect for some weeks. I get all of that. But if we look at the Lions, Dan Campbell, we know that he doesn't give up without a fight. He does not give in. He does not want to go down without a fight. Because Dan Campbell has really changed around the Lions culture since he became the head coach. Now, it is outside in clear sunny weather, which has been the main thing that works for the 49ers because of course, last game it rained a little bit, which kind of caused Purdy to malfunction a little bit. But, But I personally believe, now hear me out, I believe the Lions can beat the 49ers. I have them picked to beat the 49ers because few reasons. Number one, Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown are slant route runners. And that is the main struggle that I have seen from this 49ers defense. Now, the Niners, I know they have Bosa and Chase Young. But this defense, secondary, it's not that good. I've seen it with my own two eyes. So, let me point this out to you, Niners fans around there. Hear me out. The Niners have only had a few losses this season. The first few losses they had were against the Cleveland Browns. They were down by about 2. Had to drive down the field for a game-winning field goal. Made it down there, but missed. You had a potential game-winning drive against the Minnesota Vikings through an interception. And then you get blown out by Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And then you get rocked by the Ravens in your own house. 5 interceptions. 5. Not 4. 5. And that's the main concern for me when it comes to this Niners team. If they face the Ravens again, they're going to get slaughtered because the Ravens are the better team that going into this weekend regardless of the other 3 teams. They are right now the juggernaut that I'm looking at. And if they go against the Ravens, no matter who plays them whoever plays in the NFC side, no matter who plays on part of the NFC, they're going to get slaughtered because The Ravens are the better team. They blew out the Lions and the Niners. They blew them both out. Lions, they blew them out at home. And then the Niners, they got blown out at home in Frisco, Santa Clara, Levis Stadium. And here's the thing. I've looked at Purdy all season long. I have said on a variety of occasions that he is not an elite quarterback. If we look at some of the games he's played, the 3-game losing streak, he has had, he didn't have Christian McCaffrey for half of those games. He didn't have Debo or Trent Williams, which I believe is going to play a key factor in this game. Which, if you're going against a Lions defense that is so physical, they just get down under your skin and they just tear you apart inside out. And I get that the Lions are 29th ranked defense. I get that. But what I'm saying to the Niners here is, it's in Santa Clara. You got the home field advantage on your side. If the Lions can just pour it on you and have the lead by, example, 14 or 10, it's going to be probably game over at the start because Purdy has not proved that he can come back from 10 points behind. He has not proven that. Now, I get that he led a game-winning drive last week against Green Bay. I get that. But that was against the Joe Barry defense. This one's against a whole different defense. And this game is going to be very interesting. I believe, personally, it can go either way. Now, I'm not hating on San Francisco at all. I do want them to eventually break their 29-year curse. 29-year curse. I do eventually want that to break for them. But you need to prove yourselves first. And if you can go to the Super Bowl and beat the Ravens, then I'll shut my mouth. Until then, I still don't believe Purdy is the guy because he's a Mr. Irrelevant, which is the last pick of the NFL draft. And like I said, you're playing a very physical Lions defense. If one of your players gets injured, like example, let's say Trent Williams got crunched by Aiden Hutchinson, he's out for the game. That's a big loss. Because Trent Williams, when he's there, he does not allow that many sacks. But if he's out, that's when he starts to allow more sacks. So I'm taking the Lions. I'm going for the upset here. And if it is right, don't say I didn't tell you so. But anyways, that's my talk for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates on my videos and live streams. And I'll catch you all tomorrow morning. So long for now.